Hey guys, welcome back to the BuzWeaver channel. And in our top stories today from the Washington Examiner, Trump vice presidential short list, pros and cons of 9 hopefuls. Now, of course, Donald Trump has not picked a VP as of yet, if that wasn't already obvious. And of course, there are a lot of people out there that have their particular picks. But this is going to come from the Washington Examiner. And one most recently that we're hearing about, of course, is Marco Rubio. He's probably the most familiar of the particular picks that people know as far as his political background. However, even though he is from Florida and Trump needs Florida, it looks like Trump has Florida locked down. Now, Rubio has his issues, at least for me, and in some of the ways he approaches things. Says Rubio is a well-known, telegenic, 3-term Republican senator from a state crucial to Trump's path to an electoral college majority. Now, that would kind of be the strategy for it, is that because he is from Florida. But as I've said, it's possible that Trump already has Florida locked down because of just DeSantis himself. Of course, DeSantis was a potential person, but obviously was not. Because you remember, Donald Trump has an amazing presence about him. So he doesn't want anyone that could potentially even come. There's none of these people here come potentially close to outshining Donald Trump, outspeaking him, or just have the charisma that Trump has. And then Tim Scott, the genial South Carolinian, would be the GOP's first black vice presidential nominee. Now, we are living in a very tick box, superficial optics environment when it comes to politics, not to mention the fact that there's short attention spans and people are easily distracted. Everything's based on sound bites, and within even just days or even weeks, people have already forgotten what the thing was that everyone was talking about at that time. So Tim Scott here, and I'm kind of just shuffling through some of these. I'm not really particularly enthusiastic about some of these picks. You got J.D. Vance. He has a lot of charisma to me. He's probably the most charismatic of the group. The mostly ideologically aligned candidate in Trump's shortlist, the Hillbilly Elegy author, could ensure that the Republican Party continues to cultivate a more blue-collar base with economic populism and skepticism of foreign military interventions. Now, Trump is a populist. Everyone talks about the fact that, he's in the GOP. Donald Trump is a populist. He's a typical cookie-cutter Northern Democrat. That's just the way he is. He's a populist. He's a businessman. He gets things done. He knows how to get things done. And of course, as we've talked about many times, we don't run our country like a business, although it would be much more efficient, of course, if it were run as a business. But J.D. Vance, I would say, would be up there with a higher potential. But like I said, we're in a checkbox society right now. And with all of the intersectionality and identitarianism, it could potentially have to be a woman like Elise Stefanik here. Stefanik has emerged as a skilled Trump defender and fundraiser. She's a member of the House Republican leadership team. Of course she is. She's from New York, and she's been very, very vocal in a lot of these meetings and hearings and stuff that she's part of. So if we go with the optics, as they like to say, if we go with the optics, we go with the checkbox ideology philosophy, Stefanik could be a possibility. And then we have Byron Donalds, of course, relatively young, black, solidly conservative, an effective participant in congressional hearings. Of course, he's very, very known on Fox News, which isn't where everybody gets their news and sees things. So, and then Bobart there in the picture with him may have had a possibility, but she sank that in the evening at the movie theater. And probably a presidential, at least an individual that people can identify as a politician, right? Like a cookie cutter type politician person with presidential appeal and vice president appeal would be Doug Burgum. Although Doug is, I guess what they would call an empty kind of suit kind of guy. And I don't mean that in a disparaging way. I just mean that, just from physical appearances. And sadly, it is very superficial, the way people just address things. That's my phone ringing. It's very annoying. I wish it would stop. Thank you. And so Burgum has unexpectedly worked his way up from an asterisk candidate for the GOP presidential nomination to someone with a real shot to be the ticket with Trump. I don't see it. I don't. It's a possibility from the standpoint, because government is confidence, right? Government is confidence. And people have to trust the government. They have to believe that the government can do things for them. Now, granted, we are of the people for the people, and we've gotten away from the fact that the people of the United States, the people, are the ones who are responsible for running the country and ensuring that we get the right representatives and get the right representation and that thing and that sort of thing. So Doug's there, but then we have Kristi Noem, who completely has ruined all her chances now, despite the context of why she had to kill her dog and these sorts of things. You know, when you live out in the rural area, you have to make these kind of decisions because apparently the dog had attacked or even killed some of the neighbors' chickens and snapped at her and so forth like that and the family. So, yeah, very tough decision. She was honest about it, and it didn't work for her. So, Noem, not even a possibility at this point. Dr. Ben Carson, you ever notice I never called Ben Carson doctor or even Rand Paul doctor, but they always call Jill a doctor. These are actual medical doctors. Actually, yes. An accomplished doctor and popular conservative speaker, Carson's tenure as Secretary of Housing and Urban Development under Trump was not one of the more controversial parts of the first term. Where he was, yeah, again, when you're talking about charisma and just presence and stuff, Carson doesn't really have it. He's your feel-good, bedside-mannered doctor who can make you feel comfortable before something is going to happen. So, Ben, yeah, I don't see it happening. But I think for me, if I had to flip a coin and make a pick, I would have to say Tulsi Gabbard, because not only is she female, and she was a former Democrat, and the Democrats, of course, disparaged her, and, she left the party, all these sorts of things, and she's kind of similar in a way in Trump's situation where, she's trying to, this is probably the not the correct way to say it, but salvage herself from what she had to experience with Democrats. But she also served in the military, so that's going to be huge. Gabbard brings diversity as a young woman of color. I'm not sure why they have to call her that. She's Hawaiian, Samoan, however they want to identify themselves, Polynesian, however they want to identify themselves there in Hawaii. She has a military background, but is also consistent with Trump's America First foreign policy. So, again, another foreign policy type individual, foreign policy being really kind of huge now in our global world that we're living in right now, especially now with the internet and everything else. It's the world is much closer, more interactive. And so I think if you were to ask me who it could possibly be, I would say potentially Tulsi Gabbard. It's really hard to say. Trump does some really, who Trump gets advice from, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's awful. When he was president, I think, of course, that the establishment uniparty always tried to undermine him, always tried to pretend like they were giving him good advice and direction when all along they were just trying to undermine him. Because you may remember, they're the ones who talked him out of not pursuing Hillary Clinton. They talked him out of pursuing her, despite that being, one of his rally mantras. And you see what happens. As soon as he got out of office, they went after him. The establishment uniparty immediately went after him, and they keep asking him, will there be retribution? I thought this was funny. This was something that Sticks mentioned the other day, is how irritated and annoyed and infuriated Joe Biden is that many of these dignitaries and leaders coming from other countries are wanting to go meet Donald Trump at Mar A Lago, which I think is absolutely hilarious. But so you guys let me know down in a comment if any of these picks are someone you like, that they check your boxes, that you enjoy who they are, and could be potential VPs for Donald Trump. You guys will have to let me know down below. But it's certainly an interesting list of individuals that they have here. But nonetheless, guys, I want to thank you, all of you on NewTek, Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey, for your guys' continued support, the likes, the shares, and the comments, and, of course, everyone here on YouTube. You guys have been amazing here in 2024, and I thank you so much for it all. And, of course, below the video, you can find my various social media links. You guys can acquaint yourselves with those. Most of you probably already know the drill. Nonetheless, guys, appearing there on the screen, that would be the channel icon. You guys can click on to subscribe, as well as to select notifications. That way you'll know when there's content here on the channel. And I'll see all you guys in the next video.